Welcome to FBB Forum. If you like this content, please be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to the FBB Forum YouTube and Instagram pages. I'm very pleased to welcome the stunning IFBB Pro Women's Physique athlete, Blanca Rodrigues, back to the podcast. Blanca had her a best ever competitive year at the 2024 with top 10 finishes at the Tampa Pro and the Texas Pro shows this year. And she's lived in the Tampa area for, you said 25 years. Well,
This is 25 years. Yeah, long time.
well, that's about as long as me. I've been here for 20 years. But now she's kind of making a fresh start and moving to Las Vegas to pursue a coaching and massage therapy business and working with clients there. So stay tuned to find out more about Blanca's future plans. Welcome, Blanca. It's good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks so much for having me. It's always a pleasure being on the podcast.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. It was interesting. I was talking to you before we started recording about Susan Matheson Graham moving to Vegas and kind of doing the same thing, trying to get a fresh start and get some business with some she's going to do personal training clients there. But I think it's neat that you're moving there and trying to pick up some business there with working with new clients with massage and with you're going to continue your online training or coaching clients too.
Yeah, no, that's so what a coincidence that she's doing that. Yeah, I'm looking at February to move out there. Yeah, it's I just finished up massage therapy school, just passed my board exam, so just closing that chapter and just needing a fresh start. As I was mentioning earlier, with growth requires change, and I'm at that point now. So I'm really excited about this next chapter and not only continuing my online coaching business, but also massage therapy, which for me, I mean, I've been getting body work done for 10 years now, and it's done wonders for me, for my performance, for my recovery, just overall well-being. So I'm really excited to be helping others as well with massage therapy.
That's terrific. I think that's a good, like we were talking about, another tool in the toolkit, that makes you even better coach too.
Yeah, exactly. Because yeah, I feel like to be a good coach, it's all about the toolbox. How many tools you got in there, how many people you can help, knowledge, experience. So this is just adding some more and just being able to help more people with more things.
That's awesome. I think that's terrific. Yeah. Um, Now I'm going to talk a little bit about that later, but I wanted to talk to you first about your 2024 competitive year and how did you like this year for Texas and Tampa?
Oh, this was amazing. I mean, this was my best, most successful year. I haven't placed on the IFBB stage before this season, and I placed at probably the two biggest pro shows outside of the Olympia, especially for women's physique. The Texas Pro was, I mean, I would say that was the biggest women's physique show of the season, with all the money that was put up thanks to Sarah Villegas. I mean, that was such an incredible show. I was telling Glenn on the Almost Downs podcast the other day that, I see myself doing that show again this upcoming season. It was such an amazing show, and it had nothing even to do with the placement. Obviously, that was the cherry on top, but it was just the vibe of that show, just the competitors that were there. It was just the production. I mean, it was so much fun. I had a blast. Like when I got off that stage, I was like high. Like, and obviously, placing seventh at that show alongside other Olympians was insane. Like it took me actually a while to realize how amazing that was. I came in seventh at Tampa, but I would say that the competition was more challenging, more competitive at Texas. And
Yeah, I agree.
yeah,
Yeah.
I came in seventh. And it was a big first call out. That was my first time getting first call out ever on the pro stage. So that was
Yeah.
like super exciting when they called my name. I was like, wow, okay. Because I was around so many other amazing women. I mean, that first call out, I think you had 8 women on stage for the first call out in Texas. And I mean, now looking back at that picture of the call out, I mean, I think 3 of those women were first call out at the Olympia this year.
Wow. Oh, awesome. Yeah. That's
You
really
know,
cool. That's amazing to get up on stage with those ladies, huh?
Yeah, and the rest were Olympians at some point, whether it was a different year or that year of this year. So anyway, the fact that I was up on stage, first call out with a bunch of Olympians, that made it for me. So I was really happy about that. But again, I brought an incredible package to the stage. I had been working with Yassine for a short off season and then that prep. And I was so happy with how everything went. Keeping my size, coming in with my best conditioning. So it was a very, very successful season. And then just figuring out all the stuff, like it's taken me a long time to, not a long time, but some time to kind of figure out what I needed to figure out and really level up for the pro stage. So I feel like I did that this season.
That's terrific. No, that's really cool. I thought you looked amazing this season, and I got to see you in person in Tampa, and I was like, wow, you look really amazing. Great conditioning, but you were full, and yeah, just good, like you said, good density too with your physique. I thought it was you looked really amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, and I was very, very happy with that because that was actually our first show together with me and my coach Yassine. And he took some notes after that performance, and then the next week going to Texas. I mean, it was like even better. Like I came in looking more conditioned and more full at Texas than I was in Tampa a week later.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you did. You looked amazing. Yeah. And now you're going to be in the backyard of the Olympia, so maybe you need to qualify for the Olympia because you'll be right there.
Yeah, I got some, feedback from Tyler Manion. The feedback I agreed with. I needed to bring up my legs now, to get an even better placing. So that's what I'm working on. But yeah, I mean, the fact that I'm moving to Vegas and being close to the Olympia, it's like even more motivating. Just like one step closer.
But I hope you'll still come to compete in Tampa, because Tampa's the great show. You got to come back.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll see this year if I end up coming back for Tampa because I have done to Tampa Pro a few years already. And it is a really fun show. I like it. The only thing is now this is gonna being in the West Coast will open me up to other shows like, even
Yeah,
Arizona is one of them that I wouldn't mind doing.
yeah, that's true. Arizona's a great show too. Yeah. Um, I was curious, what did you think about the women's physique season this year? Was there any surprises on kind of standout competitors for you?
I thought it was an amazing season all around. I mean, even just the women that ended up at the Olympia that were competing, um, you know, uh, fantastic physiques. One thing that I did talk about a little bit with Glenn the other day was like mentioning, just how different and diverse the physiques are in
Hmm.
this division, especially when you start, if you look at like the earlier shows, the physiques that are on stage versus some of the later ones that are closer to the Olympia. Uh,
Hmm.
there's I know the division is growing and it's just sometimes it's hard to nail down like what exactly the judges want. It depends
Hmm.
on who shows up, I guess.
I think the judging panels are so different too in terms of what they want. It really depends on the show and the panel and or who the head judge is. So um,
Yeah, that matters a lot, and I think that's why it's so important as a competitor to focus on yourself and just be happy and concerned with the package you're presenting to the stage because it's really out of your hands, of what that particular judging panel is looking for, um, and then who shows up. So
that's true. Yeah, no, and it's very subjective sport too. So it's kind of hard to
yes.
tell what they want.
Yeah, and that was hard for me, crossing over from powerlifting. That is, I mean, there's still issues, with powerlifting and the judging and things like that. But it's more of like, okay, here's a rule book, and is this a good lift? Is this not a good lift? Yes or no? Did they get it? Did they not get it?
Hmm.
Versus bodybuilding, there's so much more that goes into it because to me, it's an art. That's
Hmm.
almost like how do you judge art? It's
Yeah,
very subjective,
that's a good point. I like it. Yeah, and your body is like a work of art for sure.
and you have to think positive like that. You have to have like a certain perspective on things because as a competitor, you put so much that you can't go into this like I win or lose, mentality in a show because again, it's
Yeah,
art and they're judging art. Everybody's going to bring something different to the stage, and again, it's what those judges prefer. So
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you literally have art on your arm there too.
yeah, that too.
I like that. Your tats are cool.
I feel ultimately though, really what like the first call out, the top five at the Olympia is really what I think sets the standard for what's expected of women's physique in the division.
Yeah, yeah, I totally agree with that. I was really pleased that Sharonica got top three because she's already qualified for next Olympia. But I really like her look for women's physique. I think her and I like the fact that she was rewarded for and she kind of made a big comeback this year too. But I really admire her and I'm glad to see that the judges are rewarding her look because I like the way she looks overall.
Yeah, no, it was really nice to see her do well because, and then, with just her physique in particular, because, obviously we're focused on like, oh, size, but, she's a perfect example that sometimes size doesn't matter. It's just looking as aesthetic. And I think she has a
Mhm.
very aesthetic physique. And I think that is really what makes women's physique and different from women's bodybuilding is a more
Mhm.
aesthetic look, and I like the fact that they want a tight waist because that's what women's physique is supposed to be. We're talking about size, then that's what women's bodybuilding is for. And
Yeah,
quite honestly, there are some women in women's physique that probably should move up to bodybuilding
yeah,
because I've seen some of these Instagram accounts where they've put side by sides of like, a top women's physique competitor with a top women's bodybuilding competitor. And
yeah.
I don't really see a difference.
Yeah, that's true.
The
I think
waist is the same, like the size, like
that Roy, I think it's from WBB Edits on Instagram.
okay.
He does those often, and I like how he switches it up. He'll have like you said, physique versus bodybuilder, and yeah, it's a little hard to tell like which is which if you don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, really, like when you put the top Olympia competitors in the two divisions side by side, there's not much difference.
No, I know. It's kind of interesting. Yeah. I was really pleased with the woman that won nationals women's physique because she had the aesthetics. She had like the tiny waist but kind of wide back and she wasn't overly big but kind of tall and she just had a really terrific look. And so I was pleased to see that the judges kind of rewarded that. And I think um but yeah, I think that's a good look for physique. Her name's Haley Brake, and
Yeah, she had a very nice physique. Yeah, she was that is women's physique.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah, that's what women's physique I think should be rewarded. I think her look. So, and I think you have a great look too. And and I hope like I said, I hope you win a show and get to the Olympia this year. I'll be really pleased for you.
Thank you. No, that's the plan. So I'm just making the improvements that I need to make that will give me the opportunity to have the physique that would be a top, like a winner.
I was curious if would you consider doing a Masters show to qualify for Masters Olympia this year too, or
To be honest with you, I really don't, it doesn't really tickle my pickle.
okay,
Um, you know, uh, I know the Masters Olympia it's like international. It's been international, and like me personally, I don't see myself doing an international show. Um,
yeah, sure,
it's too much. It's too much. Like I would have done it for powerlifting, but not bodybuilding. There's way more that goes into it. Just the peak itself, like dealing with the food, having to get out there. It's a huge expense. Um,
yeah,
so I mean, never say never. I don't see myself doing an international show. And then competing as a masters, I just feel like I have, the potential to be competing in open and do well. So for me, I like to focus on one thing. That's kind of how I am. So
sure, I understand. No, that's cool. I was curious about that. So I want to talk a little bit more about you becoming a licensed uh, uh, massage therapist, and in terms of your return to school, was it tough for you to kind of balance school while competing in bodybuilding this year? You had a busy year.
I was a little hesitant at first, taking all that on, but I have to say the prep that I did with Yassine was was fantastic. I mean, I was eating so much food up until a few weeks out that like I didn't have any issues, like with brain fog, with energy. It just everything flowed so well. I was just taking care of everything, and it was because I'm glad I worked with him in an off season to get the food as high as I was able to get it. And just his method of doing things allowed me to not skip a beat during the prep. I mean, I couldn't believe I was prepping half the times. I was like, I was
Hmm.
just feeling so normal for how I really normally should be feeling, being that
Uh-huh.
shredded. But
Wow.
it worked out. So I got it done. I got it done. Towards the end, like the last couple of weeks before the show, I was really exhausted because obviously I had to do, massages in class and stuff like that. And then, that's energy that I don't have while I'm prepping. But I had enough to do the massages. So
That's terrific. Yeah. And you said you wanted to do certain specialties for massage when you're in Vegas?
yeah, I want to focus on deep tissue and sports massages, myofascial release, things like that. Obviously, want to be able to work with athletes, but I really want to help all people. And then who knows, maybe even, have somebody work with me with massage and then eventually get into training. There's a lot of opportunity there.
And you talked about a few places where you might be interested in working, like at a chiropractor's office or even like a hotel spa to get started and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, being in Vegas, there's going to be a bunch of spas and stuff that'll be available, hopefully for work. But I'm hoping to at least work in some sort of setting where I can do deep tissue and things like that. Or working at a chiropractor's office is definitely on my list. So we'll
Mhm.
see. Obviously, I'm just starting out as a massage therapist, so I've got to pay my dues and all that, which I'm ready to do. But it's also an opportunity to meet people. Massage isn't necessarily bodybuilding or sports, industry. So I'll probably meet people that aren't bodybuilders as well. So
Mhm.
who knows what that'll lead to.
That's very cool. That's awesome. Now I'm excited for you. And you talked about moving to Vegas in February, but I was thinking you're gonna miss out on like January for the New Year's resolution people.
Oh, but I mean, I'm an online coach, so I am taking clients and I am working with people. So that doesn't really affect things.
Are you gonna do any specials for January or try to getting new coaching clients?
I don't really run specials. I feel like I have a very good price for what the services that I give. I think it's a great deal as it is. So for me, I don't really usually give discounts for the holidays. Um,
Sure.
but I'm worth every penny. So that's what I tell people.
That's awesome. And are you gonna do, since you'll be in Vegas, any in-person coaching as well for bodybuilding or lifestyle?
Um, I'm not going to actively seek it just because I will have my hands full between the online coaching and the massage therapy. And I just feel like online coaching is kind of what most people are kind of looking for these days. People that can get help with their diet and their training, not necessarily need somebody there with them putting through the workouts. But I'm
Hmm.
also open to that in special situations. And then also any online clients that I'm working with that might be local to the area as well. I always offer sessions included with their coaching.
That's awesome. And are you is there in terms of is there like a preferred gym in Vegas or are you gonna kind of sort that out when you get down there?
I really haven't decided yet. I know the Dragon's Lair is the gym everybody likes to go to when they're in Vegas, which I
Yeah,
go to and is absolutely amazing. But there are also a lot of other great gyms, so I want to kind of keep things open, and then once I get out there, just make my rounds and see where I fit best.
terrific. That's very cool. That's awesome. Um, in terms of the um oh man, what was I gonna ask you? Now I forgot. I'm sorry, it's been a long day. It's a good day though. It's been a good day.
I
Um
remember it.
oh, so you're gonna move to Vegas in February, and so you're gonna live and are you gonna kind of test it out, or you think you're gonna move there full time?
No, I'm moving. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I've been there a number of times. There's really nothing else for me to check out or see.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna make all these plans before heading out there, and then head out there.
We talked a little bit about your posing coaches out there too, huh?
Yes, Christina. Yeah, she's out in Vegas, and I've worked with her for a while now, and it'll be really nice to be able to do in-person sessions with her. Just because there's nothing like in-person posing coaching. Just being in person with someone, making those adjustments real time. So.
That's awesome. I know I've seen her work with Susan Graham at the posing room at I think at Dragon's Lair, and they have a nice posing room
Oh,
there.
they
And
have an awesome posing room. Yeah, they have probably one of the best ones that I've seen.
really, yeah. One thing that was really neat at the Olympia was they had a pop-up outside gym, like right outside the venue where the
Oh, I
Olympia
saw
was.
that. That was pretty cool. Yeah, way to stand out. I mean, that was a brilliant idea to do that.
Oh, it was so cool. And they had I don't remember if it was an electronic sign or like a huge banner, but and when you're driving down the strip, the Dragon's Lair gym, and there was a huge arrow that pointed down to it right outside there. And it was just that was the coolest thing. I was so impressed with that.
That's awesome. No, I love Vegas. There's so much to do. There's like, I mean, even hiking, that's something that I love doing that I can't do here in Florida.
Hmm.
I do like the weather there because even though it is hot in the summer, there's no rain, humidity, and then they actually get some cool weather the rest of the year. So that's fun, and there's just so much to do. So I told myself, like, I'm at least giving myself a couple years out there, and then if I need, if I want to move somewhere else, then I'll move somewhere else. But I think it'll be a good spot to go to for a bit.
You're gonna miss the humidity though when you leave Tampa.
I will never miss that humidity, and I am ready to get out of it. Like, I'm done because I mean, I'm from originally from New Jersey, and I live basically up until I was about 17 when I graduated high school. That's when I moved to come to college here. But I hated Jersey because of the weather. I mean, the weather was just like was constantly was cold most of the year,
Hmm.
gray, dreary. So I was like getting away from that weather, and now I'm at the point where I feel the same way, just the opposite. It's just always hot here.
Yeah.
Like even now, it's December, and like we'll have a couple, cooler days, but then it'll be 80 degrees, and I'm sweating. Like,
Yeah. I know I totally understand where you're coming from. But I do honestly miss the humidity when I leave and I go to a desert place like that because I just don't like the feel of it. And I get like nosebleeds and it just I I miss the humidity when I leave because I don't realize like how palpable it is and how much I kind of just am used to it, you know. So
yeah, yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe give me some time out there, and then I'll dislike the dry weather. But no, I'm craving the dry weather. Yeah, I'm craving it. So for at least for a little bit, it'll be nice.
that's awesome. There is a lot of cool hiking areas too. There's a lot of beautiful places up that way. So that's
Or
awesome.
even like doing photo shoots. I mean, there's so many awesome spots to do photos and things like that. It's gonna be nice change for me. I feel.
I totally understand. I think that's great. Yeah. No, I'm excited for you. I think it's a good move for you, I think. Um, I was curious, are you working with any sponsors or are you open to taking on sponsors?
Well, I am working with one sponsor, Oh My God Bikinis. Uh, they sponsor me and they have amazing suits. I've been wearing all their suits basically for posing and for my competition this past season. So I'm very happy about that. And I mean, I'm always open to other sponsorships as well. I've had others reach out to me, but I'm not one of these people to just jump on a sponsorship. Like I had one supplement company contact me that I see, some others have signed on and stuff, but they didn't even want to send me any samples to try it out. They wanted me to sign a contract. And
Really?
I'm not signing a contract until you send me some samples. And they're like, oh, we'll send you
Yeah.
after you sign. And I was like, okay, I've never tasted your products before. I'm supposed to recommend these to people and I haven't tried it yet. Like signing a contract, no. So
No.
anyway, so that's just an example. But for right now, I have no others, but I'm always open.
Terrific. And if folks want to reach out to you for massage therapy or sponsorships or for online training or online coaching, I should say, go through your Instagram. Is that okay?
Yeah, my Instagram, everything's on there. I've got a link tree, and then I've got my application for coaching for anybody interested in coaching. I'm still awaiting my license. I'm kind of in the process now where I took the test, I passed it, I sent in all my information. I'm waiting for my my ID number and stuff like that. So once I get all that in my hands, then I'll start advertising my services.
Sure.
But yeah, for right now, everything in the Instagram.
Okay, terrific. That's great. And look for the link tree. That sounds very
Yeah.
cool. Well, that's very cool. I was wondering if there's anybody that you'd like to shout out.
To all my fans, I want to say hi. Thank you for listening, for watching, and thanks for the support all the time. It means the world to me. It really does. Every one of them, whether it's a comment that someone sends to me, they reshare my information or pictures or whatever alike. Like I absolutely, I'm so grateful for all of my fans and the support.
I was curious if you had such a good year, the top 10 at the two shows, but have you heard from more fans because of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the perks of doing a big pro show versus one that's not as advertised and big is you're on the radar. All the accounts are resharing like the pictures from the show and people are reaching out. So yeah, it's always fun to do a big show because I always end up getting some new followers or new supporters, and obviously my current supporters are like really happy to see me on stage and stuff. So it works out.
Yeah, you really did look fantastic this year. I was really impressed with you. So yeah, I was very proud of you for doing so well this year. So
Thanks.
congratulations.
This was the most confident I have ever been on stage. I was so at ease. It's just I was so ready this season. I was so on point, everything lined up that normally when would get close to a show, I start getting the jitters, start getting nervous, start kind of questioning like, how do I really look good? Like I've lost size, and that always happens. I always end up losing a bunch of size by the time I hit the stage. And that didn't happen this time. It was like, wow, like I just felt, I think having Yassine as my coach, really gave me a lot of that confidence and like the work we were able to do and the way I was able to show up and just the way that I looked, the way that I felt, like I felt good. Like it's one thing to get to that conditioning and have that size and then, you feel like crap. And I felt fantastic. Like it was so trippy to see myself in a mirror to see how shredded I was because I didn't feel like I should have probably felt. And that felt amazing going on stage with that confidence because if anything like really, really, really matters is confidence on stage. Like you have to have it, and that's something that I haven't had a lot of in the past. And then this year it was just like you could just see it, on my videos from my mandatory routine. It's just confident and at ease.
I think the confidence really shows through on stage. Yeah, I think it makes a huge difference, and I think the judges notice it too. I think it does make a big difference. So that's so cool. I'm really proud of you for doing that.
Thank
And
you. I have arrived.
yeah, you have totally. No, I think it's
I truly
awesome.
feel like after this season, I feel like I'm like a seasoned pro now.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree with you on that. And you definitely look the part. I think yeah, you look amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, it's nice because like really with the feedback I got, I mean, I have to grow my legs, but really it's just these details in the legs and a little bit of my lats. But really it's so exciting to know that I've put in so much work already that now it's just these little pieces that I need to fill in, which it's exciting because again, you don't never know what, who's going to show up at a show. But I'm at a point now where I used to go into these big shows and being like, oh my God, how many Olympians are going to be there? Like, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm like, I don't care because I know what I'm going to bring to the stage and it's going to be a top physique.
Oh, I think that's terrific. And you're a first call out lady too now. So they're gonna be looking out for you. So haha.
I did it. So we'll see what happens this upcoming season, but I'm really excited. I think getting out to Vegas in February is good because it'll give me some time to get settled in and then, jump into a prep, which by that time, I think I will have made the improvements that I need to get back on the stage and do better.
That's terrific. No, I'm definitely I'll be watching your progress and excited for you. So um
You.
so I was wondering is there anything that I missed that you'd like to address or before we go?
No, I think we about covered it. It's crazy because before I jumped on to the podcast, I was thinking about the last one that I did, the first one, and it was probably about the beginning of my off season last year.
Yeah.
So it's amazing to think back of just how I improved my physique in all this time, and just what a better season this was even than last season. So
Oh
uh,
yeah.
progress.
Progress is great. No, you're definitely making good progress and you're yeah, and you're improving yourself, physically and, with education and everything and,
All
learning
around,
new things.
yeah. I wanted it to be improving myself all around, not just in bodybuilding. And I feel like that bleeds over to your everyday life. The discipline that I had through school and everything like that this year, a lot of it was, just these habits that I've created through bodybuilding,
Hmm.
doing the hard stuff.
That's true. Yeah, gave you the discipline that you needed and yeah, bodybuilding, you got to have the
Not going
ultimate.
out, like, restraining myself from distractions, which nowadays there's so many distractions. I mean, even just on
Yeah,
the phone, you're distracted. So, really, bodybuilding has made me a better person all around in so many ways. And I'm continuing to improve.
that's awesome. I admire you for doing it. I think I've told you before, I'm too lazy to do bodybuilding. So I'll just tell your stories. I think that
You can
works for me.
support.
Thank you. So would you mind doing a quick bicep flex for me?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Wow, looking good, Blanca.
Yeah, I don't directly train my biceps right now, so I'm glad that they're still growing.
They look great. Yeah, you look amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
think out of all the growth physically, I think having my upper body as big as I've gotten it has been a huge accomplishment, because if I look at pictures from when I first started, I've definitely put on some upper body size. So I feel good. I feel really good about it.
I told you, I think you got like the best pecs in the business there, and I think that you just look amazing. So,
Thank you. Thank you. No, I take pride in the chest split.
oh, you do. You look amazing, definitely. Um, well, thank you so much, Blanca. I appreciate your time, and I think I told you I'll probably get this posted tomorrow morning.
Okay.
I'm just beat today. I did too much stuff going on, so but
Yeah, it's late anyway. Yeah.
yeah, and I'll tag you and stuff, of course, too. But thank you for your time and best wishes in Vegas.
Thank you so much for having me on the podcast. It was a pleasure as always. And yeah, happy holidays. And then we'll see y'all soon.
Thanks, Blanca.